is over part to whole. So let's go over this. Let's go over estimating using percent bars. The table shows the 200 sixth graders at West Side School shows how they get to school. How many sixth graders students walk to school? Here's a percent bar. We know it starts at 0%, 0 students. It goes up to 100%, and there are how many students? 200 students. So let's see. It says walk to school. 5% walk to school. So if I break this up into 10%, that means I have to break this into 10 parts. So how do you break 200 students into 10 parts? 200 divided by 10, there are 20 students for every 10%. But if it's 5%, it goes right here. Isn't 5% half of 10%? So what's half of 20 students? 10 kids. How many sixth graders ride a car? Ride a car is 25%. So many ways you could do this. You could do 10% is 20 students. 20% is 40 students. So we know 20% is 40 students. 5% is 10 students. So 40 plus 10 is 50 kids. Or you can see what number is right between 40 and 60. It's 50 kids. Guess what's between 20 and 30%? All right, market researchers estimate that 65% of 8 to 12-year-olds in the United States own a cell phone. There are 360 children who are 8 to 12-year-olds at the water park today. How many of them would you expect them to own a cell phone based on this? Let's use a percent bar, and then we're going to stop using percent bars because we're going to use something called percent proportion. So we know that there are 360 kids. So we're going to break this into 10%. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. So if I have 360 kids and I break it into 10 parts, 360 divided by 10 is 36 kids. So we know 10%. 50% is another word for half. Half of 360 is 180 kids. Many ways you can do this. We know 50% is 50% is 180 kids. 10% is 36 kids. 5%, which is right here, half of 36 is 18 kids. If we add up all of these numbers, 14 carried 1, that's 9, 10, 13 carried 1. 234% adds up to 65%. That's one way you could do it. Or you can do a skip counting of 36, 72, 180, and then 180 plus 36 is 216, and then you add 18 more to this and you get 234. Many ways you could do this. But what if you do not want to draw a percent part? There's a thing called percent proportion. It's called, remember, ratio, part to whole. Sometimes we do whole to part, but it's part to whole, to percent per 100. So the way to memorize this thing is part to whole, percent is per 100. So let's go back. So the whole park has how many students? 360. They make up what percent? 65% of the whole park are kids who own a cell phone. So what part of the park, of the water park, do own a cell phone? So we have this. All right, let's see. Can 100 be built up to 360? I don't know. We can break it down by dividing by 5, and you get 13 over 20. Now we can build it up. How do you build up 20 to 360? A couple ways you could do it. We could build it up by 3, scale up, that's 60 over 39. Then build it up by 6. So 39 times 6 is 54, carry to 5, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. 234 is our answer. So what part of the water park of kids who own cell phone? 234. Another way, we could have scaled it up by building up by 18. Many ways to build things up. So let's practice some examples. Of the 640 students who ate lunch in the school cafeteria on Thursday, 60% of students purchased a hot lunch, 30% purchased chef salad. The rest, I mean, that must be 10%, brought lunch from home. Use the percent bar to find out the actual number of students. So we know it goes at 0%, 100%. We know that there are 640 kids and 0 kids here. If I break it up by 10%, that's 10 parts, right? So what is 640 broken up into 10 parts? 64 for every 10%. So 64 again would be 128, and so on. So 10% is 64. We know 30 students would be 64 plus 64 plus 64. That would be 192. And we know each 10% has 64 students, so 60%, so build it up by 6, 384 kids have hot lunches, 192 have chef salad, and 64 students have lunch from school. What do you want to use there was already a percent board built for me. What did you want to use percent proportion? I know the whole school consists of 640 students. 60% of those students like hot lunch. What part of the 640 enjoy hot lunches? So can 100 be built up to 640? No. We can break it down to 30 over 50. Can 50 be built up? No. No, I should have broken up that by. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to break it up by 10. So it'll be 3/5. Now I need to build 5 back to 640. How can I build 5? Oh, I can build it up by 2. That would be 610. And how do you build 10 to 640 times 64 times 64? 64 times 6 is 384. So what parts of the cafeteria have students who buy hot lunches? 384 kids out of 640. So let's try another example. The school took in $875 at the bake sale. 68% of the money came from cupcakes. How much money came from cupcakes? So I'm going to use the percent proportion. It's part to whole, percent to 100. Part to whole, percent per 100. So we know that they collected the entire whole amount of $875. 68% of the $875 came from came from cupcake sales. So we need to find what part. So can 100 be built up to 875? No. I can simplify it to 34 over 50. Can 50 be built up? No. 17/25. Now can I build this to this? I can. How many 25s go into 875? 3 groups. How many 25 go in 125? 5 groups. So I'm building it by 35. 17 times 35 is 35 carry 3 is 8. 1, 2. That's 51, 5, 9. It's $595 is what they collected, a part of it, from the cupcake sale out of the entire sale of $875. Let's try our last example. Eduardo spent 35% of his time at the theme park on roller coaster. If he was there for 5 hours, how much time did he spend? Part to the whole, percent to 100. So he spent 35% of his whole time of 5 hours at the roller coaster. That's a lot of time. So 100 to 5. How can I break this down? I could divide by 20, divide by 20, and I'll get that. So what's 35 divided by 20? It goes in 1 time. How do I get rid of this remainder? Add a 0.0, bring it down. How many 20s go to 150? 7 of them. 10 is the remainder, add another 0, bring it down. Which one go 100? 5. So he spent 1 and 7,500 or 1 3/4 hours, or that's 1 hour 45 minutes, at the roller coaster out of 5 hours. So if you are given the percent and the whole, you'll be able to find the part using either percent bar or using the percent proportion of part to whole, percent per 100.